Hello, this is Matt Love here, and welcome to another video. Now, this is going to be my review of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 9, also entitled Battle of the Bastards. Now, there will be spoilers for that episode in here, so let's get right into it. Unless you haven't watched it, then go somewhere else and watch it first. Why haven't you watched it? Go and watch it, and then come back and watch this video. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my review, as per normal. So, this episode was by far the best episode of the season so far. Definitely the best one that we've seen in a while, actually. It's probably better than... Maybe not as good as Hardhome, I don't know. In fact, it might be up... It's probably up there with Hardhome, to be fair. It is one of the best episodes of the entire show. Not just this season. It's definitely one of the best episodes of the entire show, full stop. There are no doubts about that. It is up there with the best. It's one of the best episodes of television that I've ever seen, like, in my life. It's one of the best. It is like up there with some movies. It was that good for this episode. There has been a bit of criticism, I should say, towards the episode, but I don't see those points as right. I don't agree with them. The episode was fantastic. It was absolutely insane. I loved every bit of it, and hopefully episode 10 can carry on this amazing streak, because this episode was just absolutely fantastic. And it's really got me hyped for the next season. It's definitely picked up from the rest of the season, because like season 6 hasn't been great, really. It hasn't been that good, and this episode really picked it up. It pushed it up loads compared to the other season. And when I say season 6 hasn't been great, what I mean is it's great, but it's not as good as some of the other seasons that we've had of the show. But it is definitely up there with the best of the episodes. You know, like the Reigns of Castamere, Hardhome, stuff like that. It's up there with the top episodes. And I would really watch it again. I could rewatch that episode so many times. But anyway, let's get into the breakdown, and let's talk about the stuff that happens in the episode. Now, we start off in Meereen, which I was wrong about, because I said in my trailer breakdown that we wouldn't see anything except for the battle in this episode, which I was wrong about. We did see some Meereen, as someone actually pointed out in one of the comments. Thank you to whoever that was. I'm sorry, your name isn't with me at this stage, but definitely thank you for pointing that out to me. It's really great to see some support with comments on the video and stuff like that. Yeah, and Akris Medina, thank you very much for pointing that out to me, and you were right. So thank you for that. Now we start off with Meereen, as I said before, and it's getting blown apart by the city. Now Dany is telling Tyrion about her plans. She plans to go straight to Yunkai and Astapor with the dragons and wipe everyone out, burn the whole city to the ground. And Tyrion points out that this was the Mad King's plan for King's Landing, to just wipe the whole city out. And he says that you're no different to your father if you do that. You can't let that happen to you. So he then forges a different plan, and goes to talk with the Masters. They talk for a bit, and the Masters talk about surrendering. And then Dany gets on Drogon as he flies down, who's looking a bit green this episode for some reason. That was a bit confusing, but I don't know. Maybe that's just a bit of a visual bug. Grabs Drogon and flies over Meereen to get the slavers' ships. Now it's interesting to see Viserion and Rhaegal crash out of their cell too, as Tyrion released them earlier this season, and they join the battle. Daenerys says Dracarys, and they burn one of the ships, and this is sort of a show of power to the Masters that they're really strong. The Dothraki arrive with Daario, and they kill some of the Sons of the Harpies outside the city, and then Grey Worm kills 2 of the Masters, and obviously the slavers surrender after that, which is great. This whole sort of scene was really good, really great visuals, really great action. I love this whole part of the episode. It was really great to see, and I just got tingles. Like, the camera angles and the camera work was absolutely fantastic. Much better than the last time we saw Daenerys riding Drogon in season 5. That was absolutely terrible. This was absolutely fantastic. It was such a beautiful scene when he was flying over the top of the whole of the city, and you could see the carnage that was going on. It was just absolutely brilliant. I love that. I love this whole scene. Now we get up into the north, and the Boltons and the Starks have a sort of meet. And Jon challenges Ramsay to a sort of like a 1v1 trial by combat kind of thing. Ramsay obviously denies this, and he points out the fact that the Boltons have 6,000 men, the Starks only have 2,000 or so. And it's really looking dire for the Starks at this point. They need some good tactics to sort of shore it up. And they're in their tent discussing these tactics when Jon points out that they're going to do they're going to prevent a pincer movement from the Boltons, but the Wildlings don't really understand tactics, which is perhaps why they lost against Stannis and his army for one part, although Tormund does point out that it was the horses that also helped in that fight. Now, Sansa worries for Jon, as she knows the monster that Ramsay is, and he's a smart guy as well, Ramsay. He's not just a monster. And she worries that he's going to beat him tactically, because he sort of has that ability to manipulate the people, and he sort of knows what he's doing. He's got some military sense, Ramsay. He's not just an evil guy. He's quite intelligent. Also, Jon points out the fact that Rickon is going to die. Sansa does. Points out that Rickon is going to die because he's the only thing standing in between him and being the true Lord of Winterfell. Because, Rickon obviously is the true-born son of Ned Stark, and he has right over Ramsay. This is also sort of to do with when killing Roose, as Roose had power over Winterfell, and also killing Walder in the Bay because he would have also had power over Winterfell. This is sort of Ramsay's idea. He wants to control Winterfell in the north. That's why Rickon will die soon. I can't remember if it was Sansa or Jon that said that, but you know. Now, Jon says that he doesn't want to be resurrected, but Mel says that, nope, I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I want to do. I don't follow you, I follow the Lord of the Light, and you are the saviour, so I must resurrect you no matter what. Now, Davos finds Shireen's pyre, which is extremely sad, and obviously he sees the wooden toy that he gave Shireen. Now, I'm not sure if Shireen actually had that on her when she died, but also it seems that it was made out of wood, but it just didn't burn for some reason. I don't really know why. Sorry about that, I just hit my mic. Now, Theon and Yara arrive in Meereen, and Dany and Yara have a lot in common. They point out the fact that both of them have horrible parents who were bad rulers, and they're both women who want to overthrow the men in power, who don't believe that the women can rule, and they want to take back what was once theirs. So Daenerys agrees to their demands. This scene was a bit short. I would have liked it to go on for a bit longer, perhaps showing the arrival of Theon and Yara, because it just sort of snapped straight to it, and that was a bit annoying. Could have been introduced a bit slower, but that doesn't really matter. It was still a good scene. Good to see Yara and Daenerys have a good conversation, and you can really see how they relate to each other and stuff like that. Now, the Bolton army seem to be more prepared than the Starks. You can see that with their armour and their weapons and their sort of formation. They look more empowering than the Starks, and that sort of preempts the battle to come. Now, Ramsay does his usual thing, plays his games. He sets Rickon free to run from some arrows. Rickon was a bit of an idiot here to run in a straight line. Zigzag, mate, come on, he's not going to hit you if you zigzag. But you know, Jon charges to go get him, which is perhaps a bit rash on his part, because he's obviously leading himself straight into the middle of the Bolton army, which is going to leave him exposed and easy to hit. But, you know, he's doing it for Rickon, who eventually gets shot. It's sad to see Rickon get killed so quickly when he's literally just come back. He didn't have a single line of dialogue this whole season. It's like, we don't know how he sounds. I really wanted to see him and have a conversation with him on the show, but unfortunately he's dead now. So, I mean, that's a bit sad. Obviously, as I said earlier, it goes Jon into the battle, and a flurry of arrows come at Jon and kill his horse as he's charging. He then stands there, sort of with that look that we see in the trailer, looking a bit devastated. And then the cavalry charge from both sides, and they meet around him. Now, I actually thought Jon might have died there. I don't know, because Mel said obviously about him being resurrected. It looked like he was going to get charged down by the cavalry, but the two armies meet in the middle around him. And there are some great camera angles here. The shots of following Jon as he's going through in the midst of this havoc of these two horses like clashing all around him, and how he kills all these and a sort of sweeping thing to show all the deaths and the hat and the mess that is going on around him, all the people that are dying and stuff like that. It was a fantastic camera work, fantastic visuals, and it's some of the best that I've seen, like within the show and outside of the show, just in general. It was fantastic camera work. So big props to those guys. Now the cast arc. The Umber guy was screaming, "Who holds the door?" Which is a bit sad because obviously, Hodor, hold the door. But anyway, the Boltons then form a shield wall around the dead Starks and the rest of the Stark army, leaving them trapped, and they keep on moving forward, crushing them slowly. And you can see Jon almost dying, and the rest of the army all getting crushed as they move closer and closer. It was quite horrible to see. It has some negative connotations, obviously. There are some other places in history where you can see that sort of happening, that sort of mass grouping together, mass sort of like just a mass killing, and it was really quite horrible. This is going to sound really bad, but it sort of reminded me of the Holocaust, of people getting ushered together, closed in together, and they couldn't breathe and stuff like that, and it was really quite horrible. But then obviously the Arryns show up with Littlefinger to save the day, which is quite obvious going to happen, but I mean, it had to happen sometime. And the Arryns charge down and mess up the army. Now I saw a pretty funny post on Twitter. It was a picture of it was the gif of the Riders of Rohan in Lord of the Rings, and it is very similar to that moment when the Riders of Rohan come up in I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but when they turn up there, it's great. It's a great scene with the light coming over their shoulders, and they're charging down into the battle and winning the battle in the end. And it's very similar to that in the show. Now, Ramsay runs back to Winterfell, but 1-1 easily breaks down the gate and instantly dies. Very sad to see him go, and that's the last giant, I believe, because the others were killed in the Watch on the Wall or at Hardhome, which would be quite devastating to see, a giant White Walkers. That's not going to be good. Jon absolutely lays into Ramsay, punching him in the face, absolutely beating him down, then sees Sansa and sort of leaves him. They're going to bury Rickon in the crypt, obviously, and Ramsay is then killed by his dogs. And the Boltons are over. That's the end of their house. Their house will never rise again. So perhaps the Starks can go to the Dreadfort, but I doubt the showrunners will remember that that's a thing. That's just the show, isn't it? So overall, this episode was absolutely fantastic. The camera work, the visuals were absolutely brilliant. The battle was fantastic. Meereen was great. Everything was stellar. It was one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen. Some of the best fight choreography, some of the best action that I've seen in my entire life, better than most movies that I've seen. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it, and I really hope that this can be kept up in the next few seasons to come and in the next few episodes to come, perhaps really leading into a really great finale that will get us hooked in for season 7, which may or may not be shorter, but it doesn't matter because the budget for this episode was massive, and you can see what they can do with such a big budget that I don't care if they do shorten the seasons in the future, because shorter seasons mean more money per episode, which means better quality episodes like this episode, which was absolutely fantastic because of the amount of money that was spent on the visuals and everything like that. It was absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see the rest of the season. But anyway, that's the end of my video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new to get new Game of Thrones content weekly. Also subscribe for other theories, flash videos, arrow videos, stuff like that. That's what I'm going to be doing in the future as well. I'm getting more and more time as well, so this video should have changing images when I start speaking about them, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm getting more and more time now, so the video quality should improve, and I'll be able to get more videos out quicker. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you next time.